Hi, I'm Mike Steward, founder of Vision Fox Business Advisors. Today I am joined with Rachel. Rachel, I've recently had a conversation with you about my coaching program and found your story really inspiring. So today, asked you to join me and kind of chat through where you're at with your business. So how are you today? How are things going?
Good. Thanks for having me. It's thank goodness it's Friday.
Absolutely.
So, I'm happy to be ending my long work week and starting on the weekend. But yeah, it's been good. How have you been?
Awesome. Can't complain. We've got a little bit of a tropical storm coming down here in the Gulf Shores area. So I know a lot of your Nashville people come visit us. So hopefully that won't change things for
Yeah.
many people. But uh, so when you and I first connected on LinkedIn, I was really just intrigued by your story. But tell me a little bit about why you started Hive and kind of what's your big why. Starting a business is a lot of work, as you know now. But what motivated you to pull the trigger and go for it?
Yeah, so this is kind of a funny story actually, and I love telling it because it really did kickstart everything. I've had this really bad habit of talking about this idea. I've had it for about 5 years. And I've had this really bad habit of talking about it after a couple of glasses of wine. And I was traveling earlier this year with a couple of friends, and we had looked and looked and looked for a place to go wine tasting, and we couldn't find it. And, after we settled on a place that just sold wine, I had a couple of glasses and then started talking about Hive. And I really, I go into the reasons why we need it, and it was proven that day. And then my best friend, she said to our other friend, Rachel has a lot of really great ideas. She just doesn't do a damn thing about them.
Yes,
And
I get
it,
that.
yeah, it was brutal, but it was true. And it really made me think, why not? I mean, if making your own business was easy, everyone would do it. But we might as well try and shoot our shot, as they say. And it's been an awesome adventure so far.
That's fantastic. So it was a friend. It was, well, first it started with a few glasses of wine, and then it was a friend that kind of pushed you to say, why not? And
Yeah.
awesome for you waking up the next morning and saying, yes, why not? Uh, so tell me about Hive, I guess. What problem is it solving? I think that's the key to having a good business is figuring out, one, what's the problem and what problem can we solve?
Yeah, so I think how I started this with the idea began from traveling, and like I said, I traveled earlier this year. I did a lot of traveling a few years ago, and I found that traveling, but also in your own city, it's really hard to find what you're looking for that isn't the tourist experience and isn't the run-of-the-mill experience that everyone else is getting. And it's not that there aren't other people who have these things hosted. It's just not in one place. It's not personalized to you, and overall, it doesn't give you the feeling that you get from everything else. I bring this up all the time. Our Netflix up next, our our Spotify playlists, even our ad experiences, which maybe not. That's maybe not be a great way that they're getting that information, but it's all tailored to you as an individual. Why
Okay.
can't our experiences in travel be that way too? Why can't we have these things suggested to us because it's our interests, our friends, and our city, as opposed to getting the same search results over and over, whether it's in the place that you live or somewhere that you're abroad. So we're helping find a way to connect our users to that experience, that next great adventure in a way that's fun, it's easy, it's fast. Talking to the community at large, we've done a lot of testing, and they told us that finding just a happy hour for them takes 30 minutes to an hour. And that's 52 people we asked, and across the board, 30 minutes to an hour. And that's just way too long. So we want to simplify the process and make it easy and fun.
That's awesome. That's yeah, I think I think the way the world has progressed, we all expect a customized experience like that, whether it's advertising or Spotify or the examples you made or Netflix, that we kind of have this expectation that things will be tailored for us. And if somebody has an ask, that ask is at least close to what we want, not just what everybody, kind of a generic ask for the business. So love that.
Exactly.
So one of the things that really stood out to me, I could tell you kind of get emotional about it, that during the last call you mentioned that you had a team of about 16 people, and I think it was maybe 25, 30 advisors. You and I first met, I was talking about trying to help you from a coaching standpoint. I loved your response because it's not about selling coaching. It was making sure you had what you needed. And you said you had 25 to 30 advisors, and that was almost a little bit overwhelming to have so many people attracted to you and your business and what you're trying to achieve. So how did you do that? I mean, so there's a lot of people that are looking at getting into business, but somehow you've been able to attract people to help you.
You know, I say this all the time. The easy answer is I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Right?
know how this has happened, but I think overall it's that, it's a great concept. So people naturally want to hear about it because we can relate to that. I think we can all relate to being in a new city and trying to find something to do, and we end up disappointed with the results we get. So I think that it's something a lot of people can relate to. But then also I try to make a really good culture of learning and transparency among different departments in our organization. And also there is a lot of luck here. With COVID, the developer job marketplace is really poor. So I've been lucky, if you want to call it that, to be starting off in a time where for developers it's hard to find work. And then even worse, what my developers have said to me over and over is when you look for a job, they ask for a year to 2 years of experience. Well, how do you get that experience until you have a job? So, what we've been offering is this chance to jump in on something new, to really, sink your teeth into something that's exciting, and then get that resume experience that you're looking for while learning from other people who are doing the same thing you are. So,
Wow.
it's a mix of things, but it's just been a shock, really. It really has. And then with advisors, I did not expect this. I thought that it was going to be really hard to get people on board with what I'm doing. Nashville has been a wonderful place to begin a business. Everyone is really excited and eager to help. There are great organizations here to help you start your business and to connect you with people who can help. And I think that I've benefited from Nashville's community more than anything.
That's awesome. That's definitely says a lot about starting your own business. And once you get there, being in the right situation, the right people around you to attract those people. So that doesn't just happen accidentally. So great job
Yeah.
putting it out there and attracting the right people, giving developers opportunities that they wouldn't have had maybe if it wasn't for a new business model, a new somebody creating a vision. So that's kind of how a lot of people get their first step. And who knows what that means for those developers, 5, 10 years from now because of the opportunity you gave them. I think that's one of the most incredible feelings about being an entrepreneur is that you're able to give those opportunities and kind of help pull people along with you. And often those people can get in front of you and you can help push them in front of you. So that's
Yeah.
that's exciting with a lot more excitement, I'm sure, to continue. So, social media and the internet and things that everything that Hive has is connected to. I've got to imagine there's somebody right now listening to this, whether it's, once we go live with it or months from now, that's maybe considering starting in their own business or buying a business. If they're on the fence, what advice would you give them? I mean, you're at a very interesting stage of this where you're still growing and developing, but what advice would you give somebody who's considering taking that big step that maybe they just need that extra word of wisdom from?
Yeah. So as far as word of wisdom goes, I say jump and learn how to swim. And then there are going to be so many people who throw life rafts out to you. It really is surprising. It's not only Nashville that's been helpful, it's been a lot of other things, but if you have a really great idea that, it seems that every time you talk about it, you just get really excited and really, motivated to keep talking about it, and other people are motivated too, you're going to spend your life regretting that you didn't at least try. And, a lot of startups fail. It's, 1 in 5 startups survives. But how do you know that you're not that unicorn until you go for it? And don't be afraid to reach out. There have been so many times I've sent messages to people that heart beating and like sweating, oh no, they're gonna think I'm so, too early for this, or, what a noob. But I don't think that any of the times that I've reached out have ended poorly for me. Even the people who didn't respond, it's, one person not answering you, there are going to be 10 other people lined up to help you out. So go for it. Why not?
That's that's I think that'll be well taken by a lot of people, that sometimes, and even what I do, making that call that you just don't want to make for whatever reason. It's so many times when you hang up the phone after that call that you think might not be the best call, but ends up being a 30-minute phone call, and you hang up and go, wow, that was the call. And maybe it's 1:1 ratio, maybe it's 1:50, but you never get there unless you pick up the phone and make those calls and reach out to people and engage. So I want to tell you, thanks for sharing your story today. It's I want to kind of wrap things up so it's not longer than what we anticipated for others, but you're truly going to inspire people. And I want to ask, so if anyone wants to reach out to you to learn more about either Rachel or Hive, or how they can get involved, or maybe even how they can get Hive in their city, how would you recommend that they reach out to you, Rachel?
So we're super new. So getting Hive to their city, you'll have to be very patient with us. But as far as reaching out, you can find me on LinkedIn. Hopefully put my first and last name, because I know my last name is quite a doozy. Feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. You can go to our website. It's joinhiveapp.com. Otherwise, you can find me on pretty much any social media. I think that with my last name, I'm one of the few results that comes up. But yeah, I'm always happy to talk. Please reach out. I'd love to hear your story and tell you more of mine.
Awesome. All right, so let's get the elephant in the room. Pronounce your last name for us all.
Kolodziej. It's way easier to
Kolodziej.
say.
Way easier to say than it is to spell. So, hey, thanks again. And again, I'm Mike at Vision Fox Business Advisors. My goal is to help business owners who are looking for growth, accountability, and maybe a different perspective. And when they're ready to exit, I'm here to also help with that. We work with about 300 different franchisors who are looking to build brands, and people just like Rachel who are looking to make sure their business has the right perspective around it. If you want to reach me, the best way is mike@visionfox.com. Like Rachel, you can find me on LinkedIn and other social media aspects. But thanks again. And I certainly hope that whoever sees this, they're inspired to do something that maybe they weren't before they saw it. So Rachel, we'll keep in good contact, and look forward to watching you grow.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. You have a good night.
You as well. Thanks. Bye.